very good detail today. So, that being said, I wanted everybody who is, especially those of you who are instructors or wanting to be instructors in Pencak Silat, to be here today, because this is something that you will see later on your exam, and it will also give you an understanding into the mentality that is required in order to use Silat in real life in life or death situations. Now, people have this idea of Amok or this idea of Juramentados. And I use this, I think I'm pronouncing it actually incorrectly. That's the Juramentado is a Spanish word, and the J, they pronounce it with an H, so it should be Juramentado. And this concept is something that has been thrown around for many, many years in the Filipino martial arts and the Silat English-speaking communities. And people use these ideas and use these terms and things like that, but they kind of use them in the wrong way. So that's why I would like today to kind of get rid of some of the misconceptions of who these people actually were, what was the psychology behind these things, and what is the relationship to Pencak Silat in general and Pencak Silat Sharaf specifically. So that being said, first of all, let's get into our beginnings over here. And we're going to take a look, first of all, what exactly are we talking about in terms of area? So we're speaking about Nusantara. All of you guys should know this already. You're all going to be instructors, so you should already understand what the Nusantara is. The concept of Nusantara actually came during the time of the Majapahit Empire. So as a quick review, and it was the idea of the places that were outside of the island of Java. So basically, Indonesia has several major islands, Sumatra being one of them, Java being one of them, and Sulawesi being the other one. And the powerful empires were either on Sumatra. For example, the Malay Empire of Sriwijaya was in Sumatra, and then you had the Javanese Empire on the island of Java. So those were the two major powers, and most of the major empires of the time, they all were in those two islands, not really in Sulawesi. Sulawesi is a little bit further away. As you can see over here, it's a bit further off on the map. And the island of Java is down here. Jakarta is on Java. And then you have got Sumatra over here, which is the huge island next to Malaysia. So basically, the power centers of the area of the Malay archipelago were always that place. This whole area over here of Java and of Sumatra, those were the power centers. That's where the empires were. So when we speak about the Nusantara, we're speaking about the area outside of this area down here, this area of Java. And that is the place that the Majapahit Empire claimed as part of their territory. So that would be Borneo, that would be Sumatra, that would be Malaysia, that would be the southern Philippines, Sulawesi, all this place is what they claimed. And then they would have Negara Agong, which is the place where the emperor lived. They would have Mancha Negara, which was the place outside in Java Island. And then they would have Nusantara, which was the whole area of control. So that's the concept of the Nusantara. We still use the term today, but it refers mostly to Indonesia proper, the Republic of Indonesia, when we use it in Bahasa today. But still, people who are looking at things from a classical Silat perspective, even people in Malaysia and people in southern Philippines, when they use the term Nusantara, they consider themselves people of the Nusantara also. So it is a classical term in Bahasa. It is not a term that is used specifically only for Indonesia, except nowadays recently because of political issues. So that being said, let's move on to the concept of marwa. So when we talk about Amok or we talk about Juramentado, sorry, we have to speak about the concept of marwa. Now, marwa basically is a word from Bahasa, from Malay, and it basically means a dignity, a kind of dignity of an individual, an honor and dignity of an individual. Now, the word actually, I'm not sure if it is related to the word marwa, because marwa in Arabic, we have the word Safa and Marwa, and those are the two mountains that are in Mecca. And I'm not sure if the word actually is related to the Mount of Marwa because the meaning is similar. So it could have a relationship etymologically in the past related to that, but I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to say anything about that more than that. that there could be a relationship there because of the sound of the word. It sounds it's very similar. And as we know, many words in Bahasa Melayu are also coming originally from Arabic or from other languages. So there, that is a possibility. So the concept of marwa basically is the personal dignity and the honor that an individual has in relationship to their family, in relationship to their society, or anything else. Traditionally, in the Nusantara, the people had a very strong concept of honor, a very strong concept of personal dignity. And if a person would insult that honor, insult that dignity of another person, this would be an offense to the person, and they would easily be able to set a person off, and get the person into a point where they would be willing to commit acts of violence in order to protect that.